Okay, now what we have to understand is, so this is the way the inner product is defined. Okay, the dot product, sort of the analogy or the extension of dot product in case of functions. Now we want to see, is this idea of dot product clear? Or for example, let me have a function. Let us find out the dot product of f1 and f2. Suppose I have a function f1, say it is x, and f of 2 of x is nothing but say x plus 1, and both the functions are defined in the interval 0 comma 1. Okay, now what will be the dot product of these two functions f1 and f2? So it will be nothing but the dot product is nothing but a to b f1 of x f2 of x dx is equal to, now here what is the interval in which both the functions are defined? From 0 to 1. Take that interval, integrate over that interval, the take the product of both the functions. So now what we get here is x square plus x dx. This is the product and we will be integrating it from 0 to 1. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now what is the integration? X square का integration हो जाएगा x cube by 3, and x का integration will be x square by 2, and now we'll put the limits from 0 to 1. So we'll have 1 by 3 comma 1 by 2. So this turns out to be 2 here, 3 here, 5 by 6. Okay, so this is the way we have defined the inner product or the dot product sort of thing that we have studied for vectors in case of functions. Okay, now we want to define this concept of orthogonal function. Now anybody can try what should be the orthogonal function in this case. How do we say a function, two functions are orthogonal or not? Anybody would like to try this now? See, I told you the concept of orthogonal vectors. Okay, so now that concept along with the dot product that is available for functions, we want to define the concept, we want to understand the concept of orthogonal functions. Any one of you please unmute yourself and please try to define that.
Ma'am,
Please try. Anurag, unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
People
Hello.
are there or they left.
Hello.
In the beginning of the session only people are not there. What is going on?
hello.
I can't hear you. People, can you hear each other?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am, we
ma'am.
can hear.
Okay, okay, wait a
Anurag
sec.
is talking.
Uh,
Hello.
oh, and my volume is full, but I don't know why I'm not able to hear you. I am audible to you people, but then
Yes, ma'am.
what is the issue? minus, then plus, increase the volume. Now, what else can be the issue? Somebody is giving me suggestion. Amman is suggesting me I should leave and join again. Shall I do that? Hmm. Okay, I'll leave. Now, please, you people talk. Let me see whether I can hear you.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Now I can hear. I don't know what was the issue at that time then. Mm, right. Oh. Yes. Chalo. So let us try finding this one. So what will be this thing? Huh. Or now I can perfectly hear. Huh? Now nobody is speaking. Anurag.
Hello, ma'am.
Huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Ma'am,
Tell
your
me.
voice, you are not audible. Can you repeat?
I am not audible.
Just one, just the last moment your voice went.
Okay. Okay, tell me what do we mean by orthogonal functions? We'll just try to understand. So, what do you think should be orthogonal functions now?
When we had two vectors and their dot product came to be zero. So
Similar concept. That is the concept available for vectors. Now, we
yes.
want to extend it for functions.
Mm,
So, over here, see, Manish, who is there? Mitesh, will you try?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am, if
tell me.
function their inner product is equal to 0.
Very good, very good. And exactly the same way we have to develop the concept. So if the inner product is zero, then we say the functions are orthogonal. So if I have two functions, f1x,
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, not audible.
Hello, ma'am. Not audible.
Ma'am, your voice is not coming. Hello?
Whiteboard is not being seen. It's there. Hmm. Is the whiteboard visible now?
Yes.
ठीक है. चलो. So we were at this particular point. So we have talked about orthogonal functions. Now one more thing that we are talking here. So if see we left at this particular point, if I take the dot product of a number with itself, then what is this value? A1, A2. So what is this equal to? A1 square plus A2 square. Do you know what is this actually represents? This is nothing but mod of A1 comma A2, the length of the vector. This actually represents what? The length of this particular vector square. Okay, so this is what we already know. Okay, and uh, okay, so here also similarly, when I take this expression, if I take the inner product of f with f itself, then what I'll get is I'll get the length square of that particular function. Okay, and then length is called as the norm over here. We call here as norm. So if I wait a second. Hmm. Yeah. So if I take the same expression, if I take this expression here, if I take the norm here, so what I want to define is the length of f. We don't call it length, but we call it as f, norm of f. So what will be norm of f? Norm is denoted by this double, this one mod thing with double lines over here. So what is this equal to? It is the inner product of f with itself and then integrated with respect to x over the interval a to b. Okay, and similarly, so this is what we have. This is called as norm, and length of the vector is not equal to 0. That is what we expect. Okay, so if I take the dot product of f1 with f1 itself, then that will represent its length, and this will be not equal to 0 if my vector is, if my function is not 0. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, now finally what I want to define is, I want to define orthogonal set of functions. Uh, ये क्या होगा, full screen नहीं चाहिए. Hmm. Orthogonal set of functions. So if I have a set of functions in which I have f1, I have f2, and I have f3. If I have three functions, then how do I say that this set of functions, this is an orthogonal set of function? How will I say that? It means that if I take functions over here, see what all combinations are possible. I can have f1 of x multiplied by f2 of x. So inner product between these two things can be calculated. All of them defined, oh yeah, I've written here, all of them defined on the interval ab. Okay, so this product should be 0. Okay, so they are perpendicular to all, one vector is perpendicular to each and every other vector. That is what the idea is. If I take f1, then f1 should be perpendicular to f2 as well as it should be perpendicular to f3. Similarly, if I take the vector, if I take the function f2, then this should be perpendicular to f1 as well as f3. Similarly, if I take f3, then it should be perpendicular to all the other functions that are there in the set. Okay, so what should happen is f1 of this one, f1 of x into f2 of x should be 0. Okay, f1 of x and f3 of x, this should be 0. This should be 0. And similarly, f1, I've clubbed 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3, A to B. Okay, anything else that is possible over here? What about 2, 1? If I take 2, 1, it is same as product of f1 with f2. Okay, so we have covered all these three things. So if I take two different elements from this set, so this particular thing will cover, these three will cover all the possibilities here. Okay, similarly, what I want is that the length of the vector should also not be 0. What does that mean? In my set, I should not have the function 0. Okay, so I shouldn't. So how do I do that? f1x into f1x. So it will become f1 square x A to B f1 square x dx. This should not be equal to 0. f2 of x square of this one should not be 0, and f3 square of x should also not be equal to 0. This is what we mean by an orthogonal set of functions where we have three functions. Okay, so now let us work out an example here. Now I'll give you a set of functions. Instead of just checking for two functions, it's always better to check whether the given set is orthogonal or not. Check that. Check whether the following set of functions is orthogonal or not. Okay, so my first set, I have 1 x and x square, all of them defined on the interval 0, 1. Okay, so check whether this is an orthogonal set or not. So I have to check whether all the 6 conditions that we have stated here. I have 3 functions here, same way. So I have to check if all the 6 conditions are satisfied, then only we will say that this is a orthogonal set. This is
not orthogonal
very good. Why it's not orthogonal?
because the first condition is coming 1 by 2, which
Very
seems to be
good.
0.
Very good. When we say that the set has to be orthogonal, it has to satisfy all the 6 conditions compulsorily. Even if one of the condition is failing, then the set will not be orthogonal. So in the first case itself, the first condition itself is not satisfied. Okay, so what is happening is, I'll call this as, say, f1, this one as f2, this one as f3. Therefore what will happen is, these, when I take f1 into f2 integrated from 0 to 1 dx, what I get is 1 into x 0 to 1 dx. Integration of x is x square by 2. Put the limit 0 to 1. we are getting 1 by 2, and we expected it to be 0, but it is not the case. So the first condition itself is telling us that it's not satisfied. So forget about checking the others one. Checking for others is a waste of time. Okay, we wanted all of them to be 0. So here what is happening is this set of functions is not orthogonal. Okay, now let me give you another example. If I have this one, if I have 1x, 3x square minus 1 divided by 2, but then this is all of them are defined over the interval -1 to 1. Now check this one. Now try this one. Are we getting this as an orthogonal set? So over here again, I'll call this as F1, this one F2, and this one F3. Okay, so let us do the same thing again. So I'll have F1 into F2, x here, dx from -1 to 1. Okay, so what is this one? -1 to 1. I'll have 1 here and an x here. 1 into x is nothing but x itself. And what about this particular thing? X is an even, or just focus on the limits. This limits gives us an
Odd, ma'am.
odd function, and for odd the integral is 0.
0.
So the first condition is done. Let us take the second one, -1 to 1, f1 of x with f3 of x. So this turns out to be -1 to 1. Here I'll have 1 multiplied by 3x square minus 1 divided by 2 dx. Okay, so this half if I take outside, I'll have 1 by 2. It will be 3x square minus 1 dx. So what is the integral here now? It will be 1 by
Even.
2. Yeah, even hai. Very good. Okay, so this is an even function. So what do we get here? Okay, so I'll have this will be 2 times integral 0 to 1 3x square minus 1 dx. Okay, so this and this gets cancelled, so it will be integration here. So it will be 3 into x cube by 3 minus x. Okay, so this cancels, put the limits from 0 to 1. So check out what happens here when we substitute the upper limit. It will be 1 minus 1, 0. And the lower limit when we substitute, it's also 0. So this is also turning out to be 0. So even though it is even, but then still we are getting a 0. Okay, so this is 0. Now the next one is what? Integral -1 to 1 f2 of x into f3 of x dx. Okay, so now try this one. So here what we get is
0.
very good. Aditya got the trick.
0.
Very good, very good. See, what we have is x multiplied by 3x square minus 1 divided by 2. This is odd. This is even. We have just now said odd into even is
Or
odd. Therefore, the integral will be 0. So, I need not calculate, but then that justification is expected. How you got it 0 so directly. Okay. So, now it's still not over. We have to check the 6 conditions. 3 are done. So the other remaining 3 have to be calculated. So the first one is what? Minus 1 to 1. F1 square x. I should get a non-zero value. Okay. So what is this now? F1 is 1. So I'll get just 1 dx minus 1 to 1. So x. Okay. Minus 1 to 1. So 1 minus 1, I'll get a 2, which is not equal to 0. So well, fine. Similarly, check for f2 square x dx, integration from minus 1 to 1. Now, who will give me the values?
ma'am, 2/3.
2 by 3. Very good. Correct. This turns out to be 2 by 3. F3 square. F3 square, it will take little bit time. Try this. I'm assuming people are doing okay. Manish, try and give me the answer. Mitesh,
Yes, ma'am, doing.
mm-hmm.
Ma'am, 8/5.
No, it's not 8 by 5. You missed out some factor which is there initially. There's 1 by 2 multiplied by 1 by 2.
Ma'am, is it 4 by 5?
No, it's 2 by 5. Just check out your answer. Very close. It's 2 by 5. So all these values turn out to be non-zero values. Therefore, what we get is this set satisfy all the 6 conditions. Therefore, this is a set of orthogonal vectors. Okay, this set of this is a set of orthogonal functions. Okay. Now, something more we want to talk about. Okay. See over here. Along with this, I mean to say orthogonality, if we have something more, for example, see, so if I talk about, I have to talk about actually orthonormal set of functions. Okay, now let us try to understand what is this orthonormal set of functions. Okay, this is actually an extension of this orthogonal. Okay, so if I have a set of functions f1x, 2x, and suppose there are many of them, many more functions. Okay, so let me have it for f3 first, and then we will extend it for an arbitrary set. Okay, so if I have three functions, all the functions defined under the interval a b, sometimes this is written on this way, or interval आपका कुछ भी हो सकता है, whatever is the interval, on the same intervals all the three functions have to be defined. So the first part, that is if you take two distinct functions, then what should happen is their dot product will be 0. The only difference is between this orthonormal and orthogonal is, see over here, the see, here for orthonormal, we had these three things as 0 and these were non-zero. Instead of this non-zero number, we want to have 1. If in place of this one, if we have a 1 here, then we say that this set is an orthonormal set. Okay. How it was selected? Okay, so this is what we have. So this was, see, in the previous example we were getting different values here. For the first one we got 1, here we got 2 by 3, here we got 2 by 5. So now we don't want these numbers to be different every time. We want a fixed number to appear here, that is the number is 1. Okay, by the way, what is the what is the meaning of this expression, that this f1 square integral from a to b is equal to 1. What does that mean? The norm of the vector is 1. It means what? The length concept that we are defining for this function f1, that should be, the length should be 1. It is as good as somewhat related to unit functions. Okay, so this is the concept that we are using here. Okay, this is the way orthonormality is being defined. ठीक है, चलो हम लोग define करते हैं उसको and then see. So actually now let us define and then come back to this question. Okay, so this part is the same. f1, f1x, f3x. If this one from a to b is equal to 0, f1 f2 of x, f3 of x dx from a to b, if this is 0. Okay, and here what we have is a to b f1 square is equal to 1. Okay, here we have a to b f2 square is equal to 1. Here we have a to b f3 square equal to 1. If this happens, then we say that the set of the functions is orthonormal. Okay, so now the idea is, since these three conditions are common conditions over here in the orthogonal, and this is just an extension sort of thing. I mean to say, we are stricter in these conditions. We don't want a non-zero value, but what we want is, we want a 1 over there. Okay, so can we do that? Okay, so the idea is, can an orthonormal set be converted to an or can an orthogonal set, the set where we have norms where the norms is not equal to 1, can they be converted to orthonormal? So here what we get is, let us see can we convert the previous example. So in the previous example we had 1x and 3x square minus 1 divided by 2. Can this be converted to orthonormal set? Because this is definitely not orthonormal. Okay, because these norms we have already calculated there and none of them were equal to 1. Okay, and we want all of them to be compulsorily 1. So this is not orthonormal, but can this be converted to orthonormal set? This is the question that we are going to answer here. Okay, so see over here, the only problem is we got, instead of what was the norm here, the norm of this one, we got the value of f1 of x integration, or not f1, now let me okay, let it be f1, as I have considered in the previous case, f1 square dx, this was turning out to be 1 by 2. No, sorry, this was 2. This was 2. Okay, and a to b f2 square was dx was 2 by 3. And integral a to b f3 square dx by 5. Okay, so I don't want a 1 here, I don't want a 2 here, but I want a 1. So what I want here is I want a 1. So what I'll do, I'll take this 2 onto the other side. So it will come here and it will become half. Okay, but I'm still not done. I want to club this half with this f1. So what I'll do is I'll take this inside. F1 square by f1 by 2. But if I want to have a, see, I want to have a same meaning here. See, here it was half, but when I put it inside, it will become 1 by 4. I don't want that. So what I'll do is I'll take a square root here. Are you getting it? This 1 by 2, I want to take it inside the square thing. So what should I do? I should take a root and then square it. Okay. So now if instead of this f1, if I have the function f1x divided by square root 2. Okay. And I take the norm of this one from 0 to 1. No, it was from -1 to 1. So let me have AB. Okay, so what will be the norm of this expression? This integral will turn out to be 1. Okay, so now like this, I will be doing all the calculations. Okay, so now I'll be constructing another set G1x, G2x, and G3x. This set is orthonormal. So what will be my value of this one? It will be nothing but f1x divided by square root 2. I can put the value of f1 here. f1 was 1. So actually this is 1 by 2. What about this g2? For this g2, I need to take this particular expression. Okay, now this expression, again I want 1 here, I don't want 2 by 3, so I'll transfer this onto the other side here, and then I want to club this 2 by 3 inside this square. Okay, so what will be the expression in that case? It will become this, when it goes on to the other side, it will become 3 by 2, and when I take it inside the square, okay, so that will become root over there. Okay, so it will be square root of this f2 of x. This is what we are going to get as g2. Is this step clear? Is this step clear? Very good. Khushbu is also saying yes. Aman is also saying yes. Very good. Okay. Now similarly, now can you tell me what will be my g of 3? Just working on the same lines. What will be my g of 3?
Under root 5 by 2 f of 3x.
Very good. It will be under root 5 by 2. f3 of x. So my f3 was nothing but it was 3x square minus 1 divided by 2. Now it will be getting multiplied by 5 and root 2. Okay, so this will be the expression. आप इसको और simplify करना चाहते हो तो you can just write it here 2 root 2 sort of thing and that's it. और ज़्यादा नहीं simplify होगा. So here I'll just erase this part. Yeah. So this becomes 2 square root 2. So this set of function is now become orthonormal set of functions. Okay. Is this fine? Now next one. Check that. Same question, check whether the following set is ortho. I'll write it. Check whether the following set of functions orthogonal. ऑर्थोनॉर्मल. चलो ऑर्थोनॉर्मली डायरेक्ट चेक करते हैं. ऑर्थोनॉर्मल. If not, if yes, then well fine, I don't have to do anything. If not, then can it be converted to an orthonormal set. Okay, so my first set here, I have 1 and sine nx. Okay, sine nx, where my n या फिर okay चलो. Now for the time being, let me just remove this 1 also. Only this one, sine nx, and then n is a natural number, and all of the functions are defined on the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, now tell me how many elements are present in this particular set. N elements. What are the n elements?
Natural.
हाँ तो okay, so how many elements are there? In fact, here for I have to take all the possible values of n, natural numbers. So what are the natural numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So equivalently, this set is nothing but, if I put n equal to 1, what I'll get is sine x. If I put n equal to 2, then what I get is sine 2x. If I put n equal to 3, then what I'll get is sine 3x. What will be the next element? Sine 4x. What will be the last element? What will be the last? Huh?
Sin nx.
Sine nx will be the last element. No, it cannot be sine nx. I have written it as n belongs. You know what is this? Okay. This is natural numbers. This is a symbol for natural numbers. Set of all natural numbers. How many natural numbers are there? Two number.
Sine n minus 1x.
Right? What is the last? Okay, I'll come back to the sign ka question later.
The
First of
natural
all,
numbers are infinite.
yes,
But
very good.
as it is defined on 0 to 2 pi, there will be a limit for this question.
No, there's no limit. No limit. See, when I'm saying it's defined from 0 to 2 pi, this particular interval is with respect to the x that I'm writing here. This interval is for the variation of
Okay,
x
ma'am.
that is
Then
allowed.
it will be infinite.
Correct.
Natural number.
Because the set of all natural numbers is infinite. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 100, 1000, 10,000, all those values are there. Okay, and how many numbers are there? If I say 10 raised to 10 is the last natural number, then I can add 1 to it. I can say still it's a natural number. So infinite number of natural numbers. So here I don't have a bound. This will keep on coming. So this is dash dash dash. So I have infinite number of functions available in this set. And I still want to check whether this set is orthonormal or not. How do I go about it? How many integrations am I going to check? For the previous case, when we had 3 functions, we have to check we have to evaluate for 6 integrals, and then we have to claim कि बाबा ये orthonormal है, orthogonal है, whatever the situations were. But then in all the cases, we have evaluated 6 integrals. Now here there are infinitely many functions. How many integrals are supposed to be evaluated?
Infinite.
इनफाइनाइट. तो क्वेश्चन कब खत्म होगा हमारा? और ये क्वेश्चन अगर हमको एग्जाम में सॉल्व करना है तो कैसे सॉल्व करेंगे? इनफाइनाइट तक काम नहीं कर सकते ना हम. See over here, so what we'll do is we'll take the general form. We don't go by sin x को मैं हर एक के साथ क्लब कर of this particular set, it will be sin nx, and it will be another function, let me call it as sin mx. These are the two functions, two general representations that I have taken from this particular set. Okay, now this one, when I take, if my n is not equal to n, if n is not equal to m, then these two functions represent distinct elements from this particular set, and for those two distinct elements I just have to see whether ये value 0 आ रहा है या नहीं. That's it. Only this much we have to check. Okay, and I'm done with, see, this one condition, this one integral that we have written, this will cover all the 3 we have written onto this side. ये देखो, ये जो यहाँ पे हमने यहाँ पे जो 3 लिखे थे ना, 3 इंटीग्रल लिखे थे, see these 3 integrals, which we have written here, they all these 3 can be covered in one stroke by this expression. Is the idea clear? Is the idea clear? Okay, I'm just making this statement that if n is not equal to m, then I'll consider this integral, and this is equal to 0 is what I'm going to check. Okay, so now let us, oh, what has happened now? How do I, so I can use trigonometry over here, multiply and
Adjust to.
This is 2. Yeah, adjust 2. Okay, divide by 2. So this 2 I'll write it here. Actually उल्टा लिख दिया मैंने. ठीक है. So I'll write it 1 by 2 integral 0 to 2 pi. It's given in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay. So and sine mx dx. Now this particular thing I can use again trigonometry over here. So what is the formula for this one? 2 sine A sine B is nothing but sine, what is
Sin A
that?
plus B.
Sine A plus B?
Sin plus sin.
Sine plus sine.
Sine minus sine.
Sine minus sine. Who is this? It's not sine minus 9, sine minus sine.
Cos.
Cos minus cos A minus cos B minus cos A plus cos B.
Nahi, Shubham, mistake.
B.
And address is 51031.
Rohan, I couldn't get you. I guess you have said it correct. Just repeat it. Very good, very good. I guess somebody else also said the same expression at the same time. Okay, so what is the formula? It is cos A minus B minus cos of A plus B. This is the formula. Okay, so now we'll simplify it using this one. So what we have, so we get it. Integral turns out to be 1 by 2. Here I'll have to still evaluate the integration. So it will be cos of n minus mx. nx minus mx. So I'm just writing it as n minus m times x. Okay. Minus, I'll have cos of nx plus mx. Again, I take out that x common. So this is what I get. Okay, this is dx. Okay, so now what will be this equal to? Integration of cos. Integration of cos is nothing but sine. So I'll have sine n minus m times x divided by this coefficient of x. So it will be n minus m. Sine n plus m x, entire thing divided by n plus m. Okay, now we'll put the limits for x. X goes from 0, x goes from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, now what about this particular expression? If I put x equal to 2 pi, I'll get a 2 pi here. Check out this expression. What will be that? 1 by 2 pi sine 2 pi multiplied by n minus m divided by n minus m minus sine n plus m times 2 pi divided by n plus m. Minus lower limit तो आपको समझ में आ गया होगा. When you put 0 here, तो everything is 0. Sine 0 is 0. Similarly, this part is 0. Now check out even this part. What we have got here is actually also 0. See this expression, what we know is sine. If I want to have sine, see we have Fourier series में हमने सारे, every time we have used this expression, sine of n pi is always
0.
Yeah, sine of n pi is always 0. N pi is also 0. What is the meaning of this? Pi multiplied by any number, if it comes here, integer, any natural numbers or integral number comes here, then this is always 0. So similarly here what we have is, along with this pi, we have got 2 times some integers only. Okay, so this is all 0. So what we get here is, now using this particular fact, what we get here is half into if I take this one expression is sufficient to say that agar मैंने if part remains, that is if I take a function, then its norm should not be 0. Okay, or in fact we are checking the orthogonality. What we want is, we want norm to be 1. Okay, so how do we do the second condition? I have to check for norm of each and every function to be 1. Okay, how can I get that norm to be 1? Just wait a second. Hello. Huh? Okay, So now over here, what we have got is, so I have to check the norm of the, I have to check for the norm of the function here. Okay. So norm of each and every function that is appearing in this set should be 1. Again, we are not going to do it or on individual basis, but we will take a general element. Suppose I take sine nx, then I'll say that the norm of this general function should be 1. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll square this function. See, what are we doing? This is my fn x. So now what am I expected? I have to find fn square x, integration from a to b dx. This is my expression that I'm going to evaluate, and I want this to be equal to 1. That is what we are checking. Okay. So now what will be this expression now? It will be integral 0 to 1 sine square n x.
From 0 to 2 pi.
Sorry. 0 to 2 pi. Very good. Okay. So this is what we are trying to evaluate. Now, how do we find this one? What about sine square nx?
1 minus cos 2 theta upon 2.
Very good. 1 minus cos of 2 theta. So this is theta. So it will be 2 times this theta. Entire thing divided by 2, 0 to 2 pi. Okay. This expression we are going to check whether this is coming out to be 1 or not. Okay. So this will be, this half I can take out outside. 1 minus cos 2nx dx. So this turns out to be, this will be equal to 1 by 2 integral 0 to 2 pi. Now here what I have is, this will be x cos का integration sine 2n x divided by 2n. ये इंटीग्रल नहीं रहेगा अभी. Okay, this is from x equal to 0 to 2 pi. 2 pi. So what will be this equal to? 1 by 2. I'll get x की जगह पे क्या आ जाएगा? 2 pi आ जाएगा. So I'll have a 2 pi here minus here, when I put 2 pi 0, when I put lower limit here 0, 0, everything 0. So what I'm getting is only this part. Okay. So what is the norm? Norm is equal to pi, but it is not equal to 1. Therefore, this set is not orthonormal. Okay. Since it is not equal to 1, so since f n square x dx from 0 to 2 pi is not equal to 1, therefore what happens is, this set is not orthonormal. Orthogonal है क्या? Is this set orthogonal? Is this set orthogonal?
Yes.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
ऑर्थोगोनल है, क्योंकि ऑर्थोगोनल के लिए तो क्या चाहिए था कि if I take two distinct elements, then that should be 0, their product. And if I take the same element and I find the norm of it, if I multiply by the two, if I multiply the number twice, if I multiply the function twice and then if I evaluate, I should get a non-zero value. I got a pi, which is a non-zero value. Therefore, this set is orthonormal. This set is orthogonal, but not orthonormal. Okay. Now, as this set is not orthonormal, can we convert it into orthonormal? Can we convert?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me what will be the corresponding orthonormal set?
Fn of x
Divide
upon root
everything by
pi.
root pi.
Very good. Sine nx divided by square root pi will be the new set which will be orthonormal. Is orthonormal. Is this clear? Okay. So this is very nicely done. Okay. Now I'll give you another one. The same question. What is the question? Check whether the following set is orthonormal or not. And if not orthonormal, can it be converted to orthonormal? Okay. So my question here is, I'll take the second example. Now what I'll do is, along with the sin nx, I'm just including 1 over here. Now see what will be the changes. Again, n is any natural number, where n belongs to natural numbers. What about this set?
Ma'am, interval.
Interval 0 to 2 pi. On 0 to 2 pi. Now in this case, see, we have to check. So if we have a bigger set and we want to check for the orthonormality or orthogonality, if I have a set which has got many functions, f1x, f2x, I do not know how many functions are there. Okay. Now for this particular set, what I'll do is I'll take two general elements. I'll take fnx and I'll take fmx. Integrate over the interval that is given a to b dx. If this is equal to 0, this is equal to 0 if n is not equal to m. Okay. And is not equal to 0 if n is equal to m, then this set is said to be orthonormal. This is said to be orthogonal. This is orthogonal. I'll have two values. See over here, only I'll take this particular expression. I'll say that this is 0 provided I have taken two distinct elements, and this is not equal to 0 if I have taken the same element two times. So that will give me an fn square. If that is the case, we say that this is orthogonal set. And what will be the expression for orthonormal? For this orthonormal, what will be the expression? It will be, again I have that infinite set. I'll take the integral from a to b of fnx, fmx dx. If this value is equal to 0, if n is not equal to m, and now what I'll have is I'll have a 1 here if n is equal to 1. So this is the definition for orthonormal set. Okay. Now try this one. Now how many integrals are you going to consider in order to show that the following set, in order to verify whether the set is orthonormal or not? How many integrals are expected? I have my set over here given as, so this is my second question. I'll just rewrite it here. 1 comma sin nx. N belongs to natural numbers. How many integrals will come here?
Ma'am, this
Hmm?
time we'll have to check twice, I think. Once it will be with 1 and sine nx,
Very good.
and once it will be again like the previous question, sine
Correct.
nx and sine mx.
Correct.
And
Very
for
good.
sine nx also, ma'am, we get the integral is 0 for 1 and sine nx, so it is orthogonal again.
Very good.
And for orthonormal, we'll have to divide the 1 and the sine nx by root pi again to get it.
For one, what we have to
Not
divide?
for
Is it?
one.
Huh?
One, I'll have to check, ma'am. For sine nx, we'll
Okay.
have to divide by root pi.
Correct. Correct.
One, I'll check and let you know, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. See over here, as Arya has said, see over here, when I want to check this particular expression, see, general form में हमारा ये function तो है, but then this has to be considered now, okay? इसको see, so if I take this as my first function, then I have a variation over here. So 1 multiplied by sine nx. So I have taken all the combinations that are possible here. This has to be considered from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, and I have to show that this turns out to be 0 because these two are distinct elements from this particular set. Okay, and the other combination will be this taken again with itself. So I'll have 0 to 1 minute. So over here, this is the first thing that we are going to check. Okay, and the second thing that we are going to check is from 0 to 2 pi, I'll have sine nx into sine mx that we are going to check. Ke baba, is this also turning out to be 0? Okay, this is for the 0 wala part. Okay, now if I talk about norm, now what will be the norm thing? I have to check whether if I take two distinct elements here. So this will be my third expression. If I take sine nx square, are you getting it? If this is equal to 1, if this is equal to 1, this is what we are going to check. And similarly, the other function that is available, 1, is it giving me a 1 here or not? So these are the 4 integrals that I have to check the moment I have increased one member in this particular family. Okay, and this part we have already done. These two expressions we have already done. Okay, we know answers for these two questions. The only thing is we have to check for the first and fourth. We need to check what happens here and here.
Ma'am, the 1 needs to be divided by root 2 pi.
Correct. Very good. I hope all of you are trying this. For sine nx, what will be the integration? It will be minus cos nx by n. But then the moment you substitute 2 pi and 0, both the values turn out to be 1 and their difference will give us a 0. So even this condition will be true. You just check it out. Okay. Okay, one more thing. If you're not getting the answer, please let me know so that I'll solve it here. Okay. Otherwise, the integrals are straightforward. There's nothing much about it. Okay. And this integral turns out to be what? This integral actually turns out to be 2 pi. Okay. So this is not equal to 0. So then what will happen is if I want to convert this to an orthonormal set, I want a 1 here. So I'll divide this 2 pi this side, 1 esa square. And now I'll integrate it to get a 1 from 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so this is what we are going to get. So what was the corresponding? So what is the corresponding orthonormal set? The orthonormal set will be 1 upon square root of 2 pi. And for sine part, we have already seen This is the orthonormal set. Okay. Now the third one, a bit more, some more functions here. I'll have sine nx, and along with that, if I have cos nx, then what happens? Interval again 0 to 2 pi. Now, how many integrals have to be checked to check whether this is an orthonormal set or not? Okay, coming to the first part, when I have, if I'm checking this integral fnx and fmx dx. Now, how many possible expressions are there? If my fn comes from this family, then my fm can be either this or either this. So, how many choices are available here? That is what we have to check. Okay, so this is one combination. Now, the other one, if my fn x happen to be, इसके साथ मैंने दोनों कर लिया. Now, if my fn happens to be sine nx, and my fm is, here itself I'll write, and my fmx is nothing but cos of mx. Okay, ये एक कॉम्बिनेशन हो गया. यहाँ पर मैंने एक कॉम्बिनेशन बताया आपको. व्हाट इज द कॉम्बिनेशन दैट वी हैव टू चेक? इफ आई टेक fn इज इक्वल टू 1 और fm में आई हैव, एक बार मैं साइन का टर्म लूंगी, एक बार मैं कॉस का टर्म लूंगी. आई होप आई एम मेकिंग सेंस टू यू. ठीक है, ये हो गया. ये 1 का मैंने इसके साथ भी लिया, इसके साथ भी लिया. 2 का मैंने इसके साथ लिया. आई एम डन. These are the three integrals that I have to check. Okay. Now let me write it properly. So what all things are we going to evaluate here? We are going to evaluate number 1. Integral 0 to 2 pi 1 into sine nx. Okay. Second, what we are going to evaluate? 0 to 2 pi 1 into cos nx. Okay.
Ma'am, would we have to check sin nx, sin mx, and cos nx, cos mx?
Yes, that also we have to check.
Okay.
So over here, 1 will be this, and then second one will be what? Third one will be what? Sin nx with cos of mx dx, and I can have members among themselves. Okay, so I can have fourth one, 0 to 2 pi. I should have sin nx and sin mx. Okay, fifth one, integral 0 to 2 pi cos nx and cos mx. Okay, check out all these things. I guess we have covered everything now. One with x, sine and cos, with sine, sine and cos, with cos, cos and sine. I'm done. So these are the 5 integrals that we have to check that all of them are equal to 0. See, again, half of them we have already done earlier. Just evaluate the extra ones. See over here, this part we have already done. This part we have already done. This part we have already done. Okay. So the remainings have to be done. ये zero वाला part है. फिर integral which all values we have to check for 1. We have to check whether the integral from 0 to 1 square dx is equal to 1 or not. Seventh one, integral 0 to 2 pi sine n square x dx, whether this is equal to 1, and the eighth one, that is integral 0 to 2 pi cos square nx, yeah, mx, whether this is equal to 1 or not. So now we have to check these 8 values. This we have already done. Even this part we have done, this part we have done. Some of them are already done. Others have to be evaluated. You have to use trigonometry, okay? First one was already done. Okay, sin nx, what is the integration? This will be, cos nx, what is the integration? Sin nx divided by n. Put the limits, x equal to 0, x equal to 2 pi. So what will be this? Sin 2n pi minus sin 0, 0. It's done. Okay, now this one, which formula are we going to use? We'll multiply by 2, divide by 2. So what will be the expression in that case? 2 sin A cos B. 2 sin A cos B is nothing but sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. So use this formula to simplify this expression.
Ma'am, is sin nx and cos nx a different case? Or we can just assume it in n is equal to n? Hello?
So with this formula, 2 sin A cos B is equal to sin A plus B plus sin A minus B. We will be able to simplify this one. So this Are you people trying this? I've written down all the formula that you'll require. What is the answer to the eighth one? What is the value of cos square nx integral? Integral of cos square nx?
2 pi. 2 pi.
2 pi. Is it 2 pi?
I think we get pi.
I think it should be pi. This answer turns out to be pi here. Yeah. Okay. So this way we can write down the ortho at all zeros we get. Okay. So now what will be the corresponding orthonormal set? Orthonormal set. What is the corresponding orthonormal set? So we got 1 by square root 2 pi with sine nx. We got a square root pi, and even with cos of nx we are getting a square root pi. Okay, where my n is a natural number. Okay, so we have taken a very big set and we could work this out. Okay, so now the next one, you can have different combinations also here. Try this one, whether this is an orthonormal set or not. I guess this is my fourth question. Fourth question, here what I have is e raised to minus x by 2. Okay, here I'll have e raised to minus x by 2 multiplied by 1 minus x. Okay, now the third one is nothing but 1 by 2 x square minus 4x plus 2 e raised to minus x by 2. Oh, not this one, this way. whether this turns out to be an orthonormal set or not, and the interval is from 0 to infinity. In the interval 0 to infinity. Now this you will require the calculation. Now here specifically 3 functions are there. So we know for 3 distinct functions we have to evaluate what will be the integrals that we are going to evaluate. Okay. So try that out. F1, F2, F3. Okay, so now we'll evaluate integral 0 to infinity f1x, f2x dx. Integral 0 to infinity f1x, f3x dx, and we want them to be all zeros, so this is what we are checking. Integral 0 to infinity f2x, f3x dx, whether this is 0 or not. And here this value f1 square x, f2 square x, f3 square x dx. We want all of them to be 1 here. These are the 6 integrals that we will be evaluating. So we studied today what? What we have studied today? We have studied about orthogonality of functions. Okay, now why we have studied all these things? Okay, have you studied the last previous example that we did, the sine wala function ka? See this expression. Actually this is of great importance. The entire concept was introduced, was included in your syllabus just to get this particular expression, this part, whether this is an orthonormal set or not. Okay, this is what we were intending. Okay, and why this was required? You know why? Because the Fourier series expansion, how do we write down the Fourier series? Fourier series is nothing but, I'll just put a line here. Fourier series is nothing but f of x is equal to a0 by 2 plus summation an sine nx plus bn, क्या लिखा मैंने? ओ an के साथ I should have written cos. With an I have cos of nx, with bn I have sine of nx. Okay, I'll have n equal to 1 to infinity. So actually see the this part over here. So I have 1 sine nx and cos nx. These are the functions that are available in my list of orthonormal functions, or in fact orthogonal functions. With orthonormal I have here 1 by root 2 pi, this divided by square root pi, this divided by square root of pi. So actually what happens is Fourier series, all these numbers, actually I can write this a0 can be written in terms of this function. I mean to say something, some number multiplied by this expression will give me a0. Okay, see this part of it is appearing here. Okay, this constant can be adjusted with this bn and we can have a similar sign term here. Similarly, this part of it is there. Okay, so actually these terms that are appearing in this or this set and the terms which are appearing in the Fourier series, they have lot of relation between them. Okay, or in fact the Fourier series is being written in terms of that particular set, this orthonormal set. Okay, so we'll have a small discussion on this topic in the next session, and then we'll start with complex form of Fourier series. The entire analogy that we have done today with respect to vectors is a very important concept. We have studied something, we know many things regarding vectors. Okay, now the similar ideas are being extended for different set of I mean to say to a very different set. Okay, so the concept of vectors being added, vectors being subtracted, then they get then the vectors being multiplied by the dot product, all those concepts can be extended for I mean to say different spaces which we call as vector spaces. And on those vector spaces it's not necessary कि बाबा आपके पास सिर्फ vectors ही होंगे. Those vectors can be your functions as we have here. The idea is if I know some properties available, some properties are known for a particular set, then what people try over there is if I have a different set, can I extend the same idea for this new set that I have? That is how mathematics develop. Okay, and what will be the consequences of all these things will be studied in different branches of other things, physics and all those things. So what is the answer for the fourth ka first integral? Are you getting it as 0? F1 into F2, are you getting that to be 0 when integrated from 0 to infinity?
Yes, ma'am. We are getting 0.
Yeah, very good. So
1
actually,
minus 1 we get for the final step.
actually the first three are pretty simple. Once, are you getting there once or not? That is a more tricky part of it. Zeros, but then here also the calculation requires like little bit patience. Things become quite complicated at higher levels. 1 into 3 also, 1 into 3, that will become e raised to minus x multiplied by x square minus 4x plus 2, integration of this. So one of the functions I'll call it as u, the other one I'll call it as v. I'll keep on differentiating u and I'll keep on integrating v, finding the correct products, and then I'll do the this one, limits and all, substituting the limits, and I'll go ahead. UV rule you know, right? UV rule is nothing but, so I'll need a UV rule also here. Integration UV, UV1 minus U dash V2 plus U double dash V3 minus so on. So this is what the formula is. Okay. All of you just try to find out why do we, how is this orthonormal set of functions related to the Fourier series. Next time we'll have a discussion on this, and we'll move ahead to the complex form of Fourier series. Anything else? Any doubts? So I'm done from my side.